What are the top 7 books that you should read to get really good at Facebook advertising in 2025? Do you have to read mindset books? Do you have to read consumer behavior? How do you get good at media buying from a fundamental perspective with books? Can you do it? Does it make sense? And by the way, this is coming from someone that has spent over $25 million on the platform profitably for my clients. I've been hired by 9-figure corporations to train their team, and I've been doing the same thing for over 8 years. So it's a pretty long time, and you can trust me when I say these books have really changed my mentality and my approach to media buying. So yeah, in this video, we're gonna break that down. I'll give you the top 7 books that I think have really helped shape my mentality, my approach to media buying to actually get really good results over the years. And yeah, I had this idea yesterday. I was giving a conference, a speech about Facebook advertising, and I mentioned one of the books that you're gonna see right now. And I said, this is the most important book that you really have to read if you wanna get good at advertising. And then everybody was taking out the phone and taking pictures in the middle of the presentation. Just, oh, wait, can you go back on the slide? And just, what is the title? And same thing on these YouTube videos. I usually mention this book, and everybody's like on the comments, what was that book that you mentioned? Can you send the link? We're gonna see it right now. It's just gonna be the first one that I'll give you. But more than that, I want to just share like the principles, the fundamentals that are gonna help you in the long term be good at advertising. No matter if it's Facebook, if it's TikTok, whatever happens in 5 years, this will solidify your mindset. So let's get started. It's gonna be a chill video. It's not gonna be so strategic as I usually do my videos, but I think it's something honest to do from my side, to not just give you like, do a CBO, put a cost cap, and then you're gonna double your ROAS. That's good, but I'm giving you the fish. So today I'm gonna give you the books. Now, these 7 books are gonna be based on the 7 fundamental skills of a media buyer, of somebody that wants to be successful in Facebook ads. So the very first one is gonna be copywriting. That is it. Copywriting is just sales through text or images. I also take it as copywriting. So it's just sales, but I'm not gonna tell you to go and read a book by Grant Cardone. What I'm gonna tell you is to read what is the most important book in the advertising world, which is Breakthrough Advertising, okay? By Mr. Eugene Schwartz. Like, if you wanna cancel this video and go back to YouTube or Instagram or TikTok, you can do it right now. This is the book, okay? I'll tell you why this is the book. And I'll also tell you how to get it, because too many people think this book is like $400 on Amazon and that's the only way to get it. It's not. Don't pay the $400. So this book is good because when you are doing Facebook advertising, the only thing you're doing is selling to a cold audience, and it's very difficult. So after you spend more than $100 per day, you will be targeting people that are not ready to buy. So, and we all want to spend a lot of money on Facebook ads. But to do that, you need to understand, first thing, the awareness stage where your customer is and the level of sophistication of your product in the market. So this way you understand how people perceive you, and then you can persuade them to buy. So read the book. I'll tell you how to get it now. But if I just to show you the chapters, yeah, this is it. So the very first point is mass desire. So you understand why, like, what are the core desires why people buy. And so I'll just give you an example. Last week in the group coaching call that we had, there's a guy that has a new client that will start selling sleep products, a lot of sleep products. And I told him, people don't buy sleep for the sake of sleep, because it's not a mass desire. Sleep, I want to sleep good. Who cares? Sleep is a vehicle. So through advertising and copywriting and reading this book, you will understand that a mass desire, for example, is attracting people and becoming attractive and reproduction and stuff like that. And so let's say you're selling to women it's much smarter to put sleep as the vehicle to become more attractive. Through advertising, you can do that. And so sleep is the vehicle that's gonna make me more attractive, and then I'm gonna be able to reproduce much easier and at a higher chance. Why? Because if I sleep better, I'm gonna have better skin, health, whatever. So you wanna always tie your product to a mass desire. Otherwise, it's really difficult to sell people on the product. And point 2 is the state of awareness. And state of awareness is just learning how to sell to people that are not ready to buy. And too many people, and this is a crazy mistake that I see, too many people are trying to sell a product assuming that people want to buy. On Facebook ads, nobody wants to buy because you're interrupting people. So you need to know how to sell to somebody that does not know your brand, does not know what your product does, and you need to understand that you will need, for example, a listicle landing page to do that instead of sending people to the product page. So that would be a fundamental principle if you want to really scale your Facebook ads. Depending on the niche, it's really needed. How do you do a listicle? Read this thing. So extremely important. They also put examples in here. Talks about the sophistication, and they've got the basic techniques. Oh, is it not here? Yeah, first technique. So intensification, identification, gradualization, redefinition, mechanization, concentration, camouflage, and then there's a bunch of examples, right? So let me see. Yeah, really good. Just read it. Let's go into the next one, but this is the fundamental skill, because the only thing you're doing with Facebook ads is selling at scale to people that don't know you. Point number 2, media buying. Media buying is a fundamental skill for a media buyer, but like media buying, the definition would be you are making, media buying is decision making and structuring something in order to invest some money and make a return. The most similar thing to what I just said is what? What is it? Like you're investing money, you're trying to make profit through a structure and decision making. When do you spend more? When do you spend less? Etc. Trading. So I remember, story time, before university, the 2 years before university, you do the preparation to get there and pass an exam and stuff like that. So I did economics, right, at university, and I was super passionate about trading, like stock trading, speculation, the technical analysis. And then before university, I really loved the technical analysis. And then I got into university and I discovered macroeconomics and all of that, and monetary policies. And I started getting really interested in the macro aspect, which we will talk about in a second. But trading is really absolutely fundamental for a media buyer. Here's another one. Any trading book that you want, and I've got a mix of psychology and technical analysis. I also have, so these ones are a Monk in Wall Street, trading manual, and then this is the trading coach. So 101 lessons to become your own psychologist when it comes to trading. So this is psychology, decision making, emotions, KPIs, numbers. This is shaping your mentality to become a really good media buyer. And then the other one that I have is this one, which is a really good book when it comes to technical analysis, right? So this thing is full of graphs, yeah, full of graphs, and it just let me show you. Yeah, so it's basically this thing. So I'm not saying you have to become a trader, but what I'm saying is reading these type of books shapes your mentality to spot trends, to anticipate what's going to happen with the market. And to give you a simple example, when people receive their salary, there's more liquidity in the market, and so you should push your budget. It makes sense. It sounds like common sense. Yet nobody does it. And so having the mentality of spotting the opportunities, going up in budget, going down in budget, intraday scaling, pushing budgets per hour on Black Friday, all of these things I did not realize at the time. And I thought it was just like random ideas that were appearing, and I saw one thing on YouTube and I saw one thing here, and then my client said this and I decided to push the budget. It looks random, but the foundation that I had was this. It was the trading books and these demos that I was doing and playing with a little bit of money, losing a little bit of money. But basically the books gave me the mentality that you need to find opportunities in the market. And that is the same thing for Facebook advertising. Once you have really good ad creatives, once you have a really good landing page, there's going to be fluctuations, and that's just the market. So those inconsistencies, it's the same thing with trading. So instead of complaining about now the market is flat or stuff like this, what you want to do is, okay, where's the next opportunity? So we just had right now the beginning of March, and I was scaling aggressively because people had the salary. Today is going to be my last day of scaling. And actually today with one of the clients, I pushed budget a lot because every single Sunday is really good for this brand. It's really good historically. Better in all metrics. And I realized that by analyzing a pattern on Shopify with the reports. And that's the other thing. So when it comes to analyzing why, and you can see if you look at the how to fix the ROAS inconsistency YouTube, that I will link in here, if you check that out, you will see that a lot of my fundamental principles are coming from trading. And I'm putting this correlation of two metrics and seeing the correlation between the CTR and the ROAS. Okay, there's no positive correlation, but if I check like CPM and ROAS, yes, and so the CPM goes up and the ROAS goes down and it's negative. These things come from trading and the economics aspect of my studies. So yeah, trading is fundamental. You can pick a really small book and try to, not like I want to learn trading to invest. No, I want to put this piece of knowledge into my brain, insert this into my brain so I carry this knowledge through my career as a media buyer and become more successful. So it's just little downloads that you just store in your brain. So the next thing, point number 3, when it comes to the skills that a media buyer, Facebook advertiser really needs to succeed, is consumer psychology. It's just psychology, like understanding why people buy. And for that, I'm gonna recommend you this book. This is Biology by Martin Lindstrom. I read this one, I think 2 years ago. It says truths and lies about why we buy. It's amazing, and it's full of studies. Like this guy did so many studies. I don't know who was financing those studies, but he was just making trials and things with people and neurology and they were putting people in, I don't remember specifically, but in rooms, and they were testing different messages and seeing the dopamine levels, the adrenaline levels when they were hit with different messages, advertising messages and stuff like this. So really good studies, and talks about your neurons, mirror neurons. I mean, it's really nice, and it is extremely short. It's 190 pages till the conclusion, 190 pages to understand why people buy. So if you couple these two books together with this one, like breakthrough advertising, you become really good at copywriting. Biology makes you understand why people buy something and why people don't buy something and how to provoke that sale. And then with influence, you get these little extra techniques like commitment and consistency and stuff like this that gives you this extra boost of conversion rate. So really good. And at the end, we will do like a full circle of why it makes sense to have these books that are psychology, copywriting, stuff like this, together with trading books where you become the trader and the artist at the same time, and that makes you a prime media buyer. Let's go into skill number 4. So when you're Facebook advertising, you are selling again to a cold audience, and so you need to have a really good message, copywriting and stuff like this. You need to invest a lot of money in these patterns in the market. Yes, trading, cool. But what are you selling? What are you selling? Like you might think that you're selling a product, but in reality, what you're selling is an offer. Okay, so it's what people buy is the offer. Like it's the packaging. It's what's kind of included in what conditions. So it's not just the product itself. It's the offer, right? So front end offer is extremely important. And if you are a media buyer and you take on a new client and you see that everything is fantastic, but the conversion rate is extremely bad and the AOV is a little bit low, one of the quickest ways to increase the conversion rate is by just switching the front-end offer. And so for that, we have Mr. Alex Hormozy with 100 million offers, where you pretty much understand how to put together an irresistible offer. And he says that how to make offers so good people feel stupid saying no. Alex Hormozy, 100 million offers, super highly recommend. It's a super easy book to read. Like, a second. Yeah, basically how to put urgency, how to price your offer, the conditions, a bunch of things like pricing, value against pricing, which are different things, and the value discrepancy thing, enhancing your offer with scarcity, urgency, bonuses, guarantees, naming, and that is it. It's 4 sections. And I will give you an example of one of the things we've had in the, like I've reviewed offers in the coaching, and it's the same topic as before. We were giving a guy ideas about this sleep product, and the easiest thing to do when you have a supplement or something that people have to take multiple times is to put people either in a community or sense of belonging, psychology, community, or you basically put people in a program. Don't tell them this is a free PDF. So imagine if you had not a product page, imagine you have a listicle that's giving you like 5 reasons why 50,000 people in the US are taking this supplement to sleep like a baby, whatever. Think about the headline, that's not a good headline. But at the bottom, you put them a limited time offer, limited urgency, where people get the supplement with a free 6-month deep sleep program. And so they are starting a journey that together with the product. So that's a really good front-end offer because, and they mentioned this here, a good offer helps people perceive a high likelihood of achieving the desire. So if I want to sleep super deep and you just give me a couple of pills, I don't know. Can I sustain that? No. Fear, doubt, and they just don't buy. But if through a free 6-month program, premium, with a sleep professional, whatever, it has to feel premium. If with that I can increase the likelihood of actually sleeping deep, I'm gonna be like, yeah, this is it. So I've got the pills, I've got this program, and I will get some follow-up or some feedback, some encouragement, whatever the things, that it makes sense to pay that. And you can charge more. So yeah, read the book and change the front-end offers. And it's not just what's included. Many more things when it comes to offers, but a front-end offer is fundamental. Now, next point. Skill number 5 to become a super successful media buyer in 2025 is, of course, add creatives, which you can also call this, it's visual persuasion. So add creatives, visual persuasion. So I'm not a designer. I'm not the best when it comes to add creatives, but I've got the fundamentals. So if I couple my past experience, knowledge of marketing, feedback that I get from testing in the platform, and you can watch my testing video, I will link it also here. Testing, the number one thing, but you need to test relevant variables that are actually smart and test them in a good format. So what you test comes from copywriting knowledge, but how you communicate that idea, that hypothesis, how do you package that into the ad format, creative format, image, video, split screen image, etc. It comes from knowing a little bit of design. So having the fundamentals. Good, extremely simple book, The Non-Designer's Design Book. 4th edition, super cheap on Amazon, Robin Williams. Simple book, a lot of examples, and you don't have to go through all of the examples. There are examples just for advertising. You've got it at the end. So you've got here, you're not gonna be able to read, but basically advertising, tips on designing ads, contrast, type choices, reverse type. So it's specifically about advertising, but you just get the principles. And they explain 4 principles in the book: proximity, alignment, repetition, and contrast. Super simple stuff. But this allows me to, for example, when my client sends a new ad and I see something that just doesn't make sense, like for example, you know that the eye goes from left to right, because we, at least Europe, America, we read from left to right. And so the scroll stopper, if you make a split screen image, the scroll stopper has to be on the left. The emotional part has to be on the left. And then on the right side, which is the second thing they're gonna read or they're gonna see, I'm gonna put the information, let's say. So this simple thing might give you an extra 30% CTR, but if you don't know about it, because you did not read this simple book, which is fucking 190 pages, but it's like this, like everything is full of examples. Like it's a super short book. You don't get the fundamentals. So, and let me give you the 141, the examples, so that you can see the book on the inside before anything. Advertising, you see it right there. And then they give you a bunch of examples. And here it talks about white space, be clever, be clear, be brief. And here you've got, I love this one. Let's see if I can show you. So this is the first example. Yeah, it looks pretty bad. So there's a white space in here, stuff like this, a bunch of things. And here they make it a little bit cleaner. And this is satisfying to the eyes. Just look at the 3 image and experience that as if you are a user on Facebook and you receive these 3 ads. This is satisfying to my eye. It's easy to read, communicates the message properly. I can identify with this man if I'm his age and stuff like this. And then I go into the logical information and I read. And the headline is super clear. So little things like this make the ad make sense. And it will give you like fundamental principles for you to know and understand the design of the ad, the structure of the ad, and not making stupid ads that look really bad and have no CTR. So yeah, important book. Last couple of things. Point number 6 is gonna be this is gonna be market trends. This is a little bit complex. So when let's say it's January and you have a brand and you want to plan your year, you want to set goals. How much do we want to grow? How many flash campaigns do we want to do? When do we want to do those flash campaigns? You know, your e-commerce brand is playing and is being scaled in an ecosystem, in an economic system with rules, with a lot of players. And there are cycles that repeat. There are things that are going on outside of your country that are going to affect your country. And the projection of revenue that you're making, it just does not depend on you as a brand. It depends on the outside players. And so there's no one specific book about this, but I would recommend that you read about economics, macroeconomics, and you become really good at knowing what's going on in the world. Don't watch the news. Don't watch the news. I've got like, this is economic history of Spain. Here, I can see from an iBird perspective why things happen. The idea of anticipation is huge in e-commerce. So, and here's another one, how markets fail. I read this one, I think like 5 or 6 years ago, but this is fundamental for me to anticipate market moves and not predict, because you cannot predict. But this technical analysis on trading, that's for today on Sunday. I'm wave surfing, I'm intraday scaling. So this technical analysis fundamental idea that I have allows me to make a decision to increase the budget by 50% based on the pattern that I saw last week that I increased by 40% and it was successful. And today I see that my CTR is better than last week. And so given that, and given the idea that 40% was successful, then 50% today is going to be successful, because also I'm on a Sunday. So high likelihood of success. Even though, people don't have the salary, it's the 9th of March, they paid rent. Okay. And then I make a decision and I push budget by 50%. This 50% is not random. That comes from technical analysis. But when we make a decision to place the brand anniversary campaign on March, that comes from anticipating the markets. When we plan the whole year, at the beginning of the year in January, you have to know what's going on. Like Trump. When Trump appeared, how's this going to condition the market? How's this going to condition your revenue? Should you hire these 2 new people in your team if you can see that something's going to happen before the summer? I don't know. So understanding economics, it's difficult to explain, but it's fundamental for you because you're playing with a lot of money in an environment where you have billions of players making individual decisions in this economic, kind of marketplace. So it is important, I would say, yeah. And understanding how markets fail. This is also interesting. But don't just read these 2 books. I'm just saying, like, as a general thing, as a skill, understand how economics work. And then the last one, and very expected, is gonna be mindset. So the first module that I have in my online program, the first recorded video, like I've got 1 video about mindset, explaining it, and 1 video explaining an exercise. That's probably the exercise that allowed me to honestly say yes when I was offered to take on a client, a brand that was spending 150K, 200K, 220K more or less per month. And I was just said, yeah, let's do it. That was mindset. When this client was pushing me to spend more money, and I had to find my way into spending more money in the platform, and these moments when you can spend more but you're limiting yourself, that's mindset. So books about mindset that will allow you to be more successful as a media buyer and break through these limitations that you're putting on yourself. No, this is not possible. Or you easily get comfortable and you don't look for extra things. It's mindset. So Psycho-Cybernetics, one of the best books I've read in my life. I've read a lot about Neville Goddard also. I've got this one. I've got a huge book by Neville Goddard. This one, Neville Goddard, full collection. Huge book, right? So, but the most important one is this one. Summarizing the idea and why you need to read this thing. If you are spending, let's do it with ad spend. If you're spending 300 euros a day on Facebook ads, and you want to spend 1,000 euros a day on Facebook ads, 2 scenarios that take the same level of effort to the same person. I'm spending 300 a day. I want to get to 1,000. Scenario number 1 is with this mentality of, spending 100, 200, 300 a day on Facebook is risky. It's a lot of money and I've never done it. I'm pretty new to this. There's some fear And of course, you don't know anyone in your circle that's spending €1,000 a day. You don't see visually any ad account that spends €1,000 a day. Everything you have in your perspective is you alone spending €300 a day, and sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. That's what you have. Situation number one. Situation number two. You're spending €300 a day. Sometimes it's difficult, sometimes it's easy. Imagine that you have a friend that works next to you. He spends $1,000 a day, every single day. And every single day, he tells you, hey, check my ad account. I'm spending $1,000 a day. And you see that's possible. Every single day, repetition, repetition, repetition. Just by saying that, which situation is more likely to scale to $1,000 a day? When you never see it or when you see it? Of course, when you see it. But not everybody has a friend that works next to you that's spending $1,000 a day. Or in your case, if you're spending $1,000 a day today and you want to spend $10K a day, you don't have a friend next to you that spends $10K a day. So you cannot normalize it. This book allowed me to normalize difficult things. So it doesn't matter the goal that you're setting for yourself. We're going to do it with ad spend because it's easier in this context of Facebook ads. But again, if you're spending $300 a day and you want to spend $1,000 a day, what this book will tell you is that if you don't normalize spending €1,000 a day and you put this idea of €1,000 a day, you take it from the future, you bring it to the present, and you make it your reality, you make it your identity through exercises. If you don't do this, it will be very difficult for you to take the necessary actions. Well, to discover what are the necessary actions, ask yourself, discover those actions, execute them, have the patience, and get that. So, I don't know if I have the exercise here. Let me check 1 second. I don't have the images here, but basically, I know you have a mindset module in my YouTube channel. What's that? I will also link it here to make it much easier. So in this mindset module, what I explain is that if you have to normalize this €1,000 a day, so you wanna through Canva take a screenshot of your ads manager and edit this picture spending $300 a day, put 1,000 with a ROAS of 3, which is 3K in revenue. And you want to see that every single day to get used to 1,000 a day, 1,000 a day, 1,000 a day. Once you normalize it and you make it part of your identity, then you will think it's random, but it's not. You will start to think, okay, I'm spending €300 a day. Why can I not spend more? I think it's the conversion rate. Okay, I'm just going to look on YouTube how to spend €1,000 a day. Because you're seeing this every single day. So you go on YouTube, how to spend €1,000 a day. And somebody says, you have to change your landing page. And you're like, okay, what's the landing page? So you change the landing page. And that increases your conversion rate. And all of a sudden, you're spending €500 a day. But you're like, this is still not 1,000. I gotta spend 1,000. Then what else can I do? You mention this to a friend, and the friend tells you, yeah, I saw a guy that was talking about you need to be able to afford a higher cost per purchase. So you need to increase your AOB. And this guy says, oh, okay, it's the AOB. Okay, I'm gonna go to YouTube. Checks how to increase the AOB. And he sees that they have to include, imagine the thing before, a free 6-month program together with that product that he's selling. And therefore, he can charge $20 more. And let's say people want to take that. It's $20 more that he can pay in CPA. And this allows him to spend $900 a day. We went from 300 to 900 by asking questions and, by being in this state of necessity of like, okay, I identify as a person that spends €1,000 a day, but the reality tells me I'm spending 300 a day. So what I see is 300, but I've normalized 1,000. There's a problem. And your ego, this is important, your ego needs to be consistent all of the time with your self-image. If I make my self-image be the one that I'm a person that spends €1,000 a day, and then I go into the ads manager and I see 300, I'm like, we've got a problem. We've got to fix this. Who do I call? What do I do? Where's the answer? I've got to go to YouTube. I need to increase my conversion rate. How do I increase my conversion rate? ChatGPT, do this. What's the app? I need to build a landing page today. You are in this state where you're demanding the reality to adapt to your new self-image. You do that through understanding the principles explained in this book. And so when I wanted to break through ad spend ceilings and make it mandatory for the ads manager to be spending this number, I had to normalize that. And then instead of saying, okay, we cannot spend anymore, I'm going to decrease the budget, I was asking myself, what do I have to do to keep this level of ad spend? What do I have to do? What do I have to figure out? Clearly, I don't know something. So then I started including manual bidding, for example. And then I came to the idea of I've got to do intraday scaling one day per week. Because this way, the overall ad spend in the week is going to be higher. Because on Sundays, I push budget. So the way you find that is not by watching a YouTube video that just, wait, this thing turned off. By watching a YouTube video that says increase the budget on Sundays. You do it because you have the necessity to spend more money. And then you're like, this has to be congruent with my self-image. It's complex to explain, but the easiest way to achieve any goal that you have, any goal, is to make it be your self-image. And then this contrast of your self-image with reality is kind of forcing you to take more action, to ask more questions, to look for the extra strategy, to work 1 extra hour. Because your ego is like, the reality is inconsistent with who I am. I've got to fix it. And it happens the other way around. Like, if you don't identify as somebody who goes to the gym and you start going to the gym, your ego is going to be like, no, this is not us. We don't go to the gym. We're not fit. What are you doing going to the gym? And your ego is going to find absolutely random stuff to make you stop going to the gym. And it will sound like a logical thing, but it's not. It's that you're being inconsistent with your self-image. So make this idea play in your favor. High goal, put this goal into the self-image, make reality blend to this self-image. Don't you blend to the reality of I cannot spend more than 300 euros a day because it's a lot of money, it's very difficult. No way. So if we couple this mindset exercise together with really advanced copywriting skills, we become really strategic about the media buying with this technical analysis of trading, finding patterns and all of that. We understand why people buy and we have the principles of design. So we're good at ad creatives, we have the fundamental ideas, and we understand the psychology of why people make these decisions to buy or not buy. What triggers the desire? What triggers dopamine? What does not trigger that? And we understand all of that. And we know how to spot market behavior and economic collapses and changes in the market and stuff like this more on a global perspective. We are a bulletproof media buyer. So highly recommend you read all of these books or similar books on the topic. Like, you don't need to read Psycho-Cybernetics. You can read something that's very similar to it, on the same line, on the same topic. But yeah, hope you enjoyed it. It was nice shooting this type of video. And I think this will really make you bulletproof. I really think so. So if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye. Have a good one.